Guys, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll talk about my new model boat project. It is quite a big one again, and the last model boat I built was 2 meters long, about 6 feet 6 and about 80 to 90 kilos heavy. The new boat is going to be again 2 meters, about 2 meters long, slightly less, like 196, and about 40 kilos heavy. 20 kilos of batteries and 20 kilos of actual boat. What you see here on the screen is a Viking 50C billfish. I don't know if you are in the sportfish community at all, but in the sportfish world, Viking, maybe in Hatteras, there's some big brands that share the best of the sportfish game. Why do I want to build a sportfish? Well, depending on what kind of sportfish you will look at, they're very simple boats from the outside. So it's not much like I have to fiddle around with much of the detail. Of course, the tuna dhow with all the ladders and tubing and all that stuff has to be built in as well, with all the outriggers, obviously. But on this, you do have an anchor right here. But actually, most of the sport fishing boats, if you look at it, they do not even have anchors. I mean, this is, for instance, a 46 billfish. And okay, bad example, it has an anchor as well. It has a bowsprit with an anchor. That is optional. That is optional. So with a standard, you will not get this. The reason for that is that I was told by some boating community the whole truth, that actually they do not want to have that much weight in the front of the bow. And as you might imagine, anchoring a boat like this size is going to be 40-50 kilograms with all the chain. It's going to be like around 100 to 120 kilograms. So what they do is they destroy it somewhere else. I don't know actually, but probably because of the performance of the boat in rough weather, they want to keep the bow as light as possible, which I understand. And it's easy for me then, because I can build my boat without any problems, which is going to be the 50C. I think that's the 50C. Let's take a closer look here and at the boat itself. So this is the 54C. I mean, they look all kind of the same. It's not too much of a difference. I pulled some screenshots from the videos, and you see, actually, fun fact about all sport fishing boats is that you see, this is the 46, by the way, you see, especially here with the 68 enclosed bridge, EB stands for enclosed bridge. Pretty fun actually that you see you have Vipers here on the upper bridge on this one, but not here. And on a traditional fly bridge yacht, this will be maybe comparable to, people who don't know better might be comparing this to a Princess or something. And you don't have any wipers here on the bottom of the hull, the bottom of the cabin. And actually this is not used as a helm, the lower station. There's no lower station on the Viking. There's only an upper station here on the enclosed bridge. It is enclosed. And on a sedan bridge or an open bridge, it is not closed. You only have some like weather see-through kind of curtains that you use to get a spray of the bridge and of also the rain. On the top you have the tuna tower. This is a good for lookout for lookout some fish and stuff. This is the tuna tower, which is not protected at all. I mean, you will only going to use it in good weather anyways. And down below, you could think you have another bridge, but actually it's not a bridge. It is much more a storage area, and you can see that in the picture here. Much more a storage area. Maybe some stairs towards the lower deck, or even a head. Sometimes day head, or maybe even a cabin. And I mean, the boats are called convertible for a reason. It's the boat I'm building at the moment is going to be a 50C, and we're going to talk about all the components and all the functions that this boat's going to have in a minute here. But for the time, yeah, this is the Viking layout. It's beautiful, beautiful boats. I really mean. I mean, this looks a bit comical. The way, the height of it, and also the two bridges laid on top of each other, they look exactly the same. It's kind of comical, but I don't care. I mean, I'm not gonna build this one. The reason why I'm not gonna build this one, I'm so happy with the way the plans of the 50C turned out. So this is going to be the 50C. Again, beautiful boat. And this is the way it looks, all the ribs on top of each other. And this is actually what I'm going to be sewing out here. The box plate, the cockpit decks, all the ribs here, and they already have those encavements for when they go on top of the keel, all numbered and labeled. And this is going to be a traditional way of building. Again, just one keel and one keel after another, and with the ribs in between of the keel. Let's talk about all the functions that this boat's going to have. I'm going to have 2 engines on it. It's going to be a 2-screw boat that are separately, individually controlled by one another. Pretty cool stuff. Engine 1 and 2 is what I'm going to be using, and I already have ordered the engine for the boat, and obviously also the electric engine controller. This is going to be the engine, 60 quid times 2, 120 quid for the engine. Pretty cheap option, but I rather invest in a good engine controller than a good engine. This is for a 1000mm boat. I'm not planning to go on like really fast speed. I want to have my boat plan without any problems, comfortably with cruising power plan on those 2 engines, but I'm not gonna be like going 50 kilometers an hour, 30 knots or something, which is gonna be like 20 kilometers an hour comfortable planning speed, or like 13 knots or so. This is the engine controller. It's all water cooled. They will be connected, the engine controller and this is going to be connected to one single pump, continuously pumping water whenever the engine is above 30 degrees Celsius, with a controller relay. That all the parts is going to be down in the description. This is the prop I'm going to be using. This is a beautiful a brass prop. It's full made of some kind of iron. It's beautiful. I looked at all the hulls photos of the Vikings, and this was the closest one that I could get to. It's you might notice that this is a left turning prop. The reason for that is that with the forward motion of the boat, the propeller is going to be self-tightening, and being this is going to be setting me back for 60 quid. The one prop alone, I don't want to lose it, so this is why I'm using left turning prop, not counterclockwise turning props. This would be good for countering out that rate, that effect that the props have when they are walking along, when they're walking the boat along, because if you have a right turning prop, you go forward or you go back, you will have the effect of the boat being pushed either way. So this is a prop, and it's going to be handling the boat in a different way depending on the motion, depending on the rotation. And if you have 2 props, you could actually theoretically cancel that out, which modern Vikings do have, but it requires a kind of a different gearbox or different set of engines to do that. With electric motors, it would not require anything, but I didn't see the benefit too much of canceling out that motion, as I have 2 separate engine controllers and an individual control ability anyway. So I went with the option to have that tightening onto the actual Stevens tube shaft that is here, to not lose them at any time. Bow thruster is something I will have as well. I will have that connected to a 12-volt brushless motor, 3S, connected with 1 battery. Pretty good, powerful bow thruster. Looking forward to that. Also beautifully made. I mean, it's 140 or something as well, so it's pretty expensive stuff. The part list is going to be down in the description. I will have outriggers as well. These are going to be connected to this rib here, a sturdy rib, and also this whole lower cabin area is going to be completely watertight and shut to the hull, so not removable. What is removable is this upper bridge deck that is going to be removable with the whole tower and stuff. And while the outriggers, I want them to be stayed onto the hull of the boat to give them stability, and this is going to be removable. Also, I'm going to make, of course, cable connectors again, with all the lights going with a cable down towards the electrical center box. I'm going to have a horn as well, nav lights, court lights, courtesy lights, bilge pump that is not automatically controlled because I don't have too much of a good experience with that, but controlled by a relay with the receiver. And I have a radar that is going to be turning on top of the roof here of my helm. So yeah, that's going to be it. I also have a fan, probably wired to the master, that is just continuously pumping fresh air into the internals of the boat. Also have a cool pump that will be turned on at 30 degrees, 32 degrees, turned off at 30 degrees, and that is connected to the engine controller, as there's a more vital part that may be overheating. And this is fully automatic. All the parts again down in the description. I'm going to have interior lights to make it easier to work on the boat, actually working with only one battery, and push buttons I will have as well. So the whole electronics part, I'm still figuring out how to do that, but essentially it's going to be one main plate. Just going to look at the drawing here real quick. It's going to be one central electronics box right here, with an area down here that is kind of protecting the wires from not hitting the bilge. The wet bilge actually only starts here. All the forward is going to be completely dry. This is where the engines will be. This is going to be the wet bilge, and this everything else will be completely watertight, as to not have too much of a bilge with water dripping around. So this is all going to be the wet bilge, from this bulkhead here to the last one. And here the inspection hatch on the rudder house is going to be underwater sometimes maybe, and there is going to be some gutters here connected to the sides, dropping excess water away from the bilge. And even if there is water maybe coming down here, it's not going to be a big deal, as there will be here a bilge pump and together with all the other pumps connected in here. And the exhaust back here is going to be connected to the outlet of the cooling water, which will be looking pretty good if you're going at full throttle with the cooling water splashing out at the exhaust. Not going to do anything smoking or something with the exhaust, just going to be the cooling water here. Yeah, and then obviously cooling water test, which is going to have some spares and a master relay. A master relay is going to be probably connected to one of the cables of the servo connectors to the engine controller. That I'm going to be doing, and the master switch is going to be probably located somewhere here, as again this is also fully connected to the boat itself, not going to be removable. Only this will be removable. It's a bit big. It's a pretty big boat, so it's going to be just enough. The bow thruster is probably going to be located, just for convenience, it should be located in the real one. It is probably located here, around here. I'm still have to be figuring out that, because I want to reach it if there is some problem with the engine. But probably going to be here or here, the bow thruster. Pretty powerful bow thruster as well. Today, price-wise, the electronics with the tube, the shaft and the propeller and everything that I just showed, is going to be like 800 euros. The whole part list is down in the description below. And then the wood and stuff probably gonna like 100 euros, and then all the other materials I'm gonna be probably around 1.4 to 1.5k cheaper than the other boat. I hope this will be the final price. I don't know yet. I'm not going to be selling it, so I don't care really about the price anyways. It's my personal boat. So yeah, this is it. This is a Viking 50C. As I already said, I'm a big Viking Sportfish fan. It's a beautiful lineup they have. I like the way they look, and the reason why I did that, the Viking, is just for simplicity, and also these are the toughest boats there are out there in terms of sport fishing and leisure boats. So really good sturdy boats, and I'm very happy to do that, to build that. It's going to be like a 2-year build process, and this whole video series is going to take you all the way down to nitty-gritty stuff like building the rudder itself and all the steering and stuff. So it's going to be pretty good and a nice video series for you guys, I think. And also if you talk about the rudder is actually going to be pretty small comparatively on this boat than maybe on other boats, compared to other boats, as you see here. The reason for that is it's a 2-screw boat, so in tight areas in the marina and stuff, you will be using the differential throttle method, get them in and out of gear to steer around tight areas. And once you're out of the marina at full speed, you want to be using the rudder with the relatively small size, but given the water dynamic forces going past the rudder at high speeds, 40-50 knots, easy to use small rudders here like this without any problems. You're gonna be going fast only anyways. And I'm also gonna be excited about the way it handles with 2 separate engines going asymmetric thrust. So I'm really excited of how that's gonna be like. So guys, be excited for the build process. Probably start starting the build process like maybe early next year, because I get a new workshop and have to kind of arrange that first. But once that's set up, I'm gonna be full all in with that build. Gonna be pretty excited. I'm using other than the last boat, I used wooden planks. With this one, I'm using Deepron, which is kind of a material also used for like model airplanes. It's very soft, very flexible. I'm going to be using that to make the hull. Then I'm going to be using a sandwich epoxy on the inside of the hull and epoxy and fiberglass on the outside of the hull, which will be perfect for stability and also ease of build. So yeah, guys, that's it. I'm going to be seeing you here very soon, hopefully. Maybe also with some other content of my other boat that I already built, because I recently added a water tank to it. I'm going to be showing you a video of that very soon. See you here in probably a few weeks.